Hey everyone, it's 6:30 and I'm going to call the council meeting of Tuesday, April 8th of 2025 to order. Would you all please rise for the pledge of allegiance and remember.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, all councilors are present. Are there any amendments, or can we accept the regular agenda? I'll take a motion to accept the regular agenda.
I will make the motion to accept the regular agenda.
Ron makes the motion
I'll second it.
and Heather seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Are you gonna go by?
No.
Oh.
Not tonight.
Okay.
Okay, public comments, please limit your public comments to 3 minutes. Public comments are an opportunity to present information or speak on an issue that is not on the agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes for each person. Visitors may state their comments and should not expect the council to engage in back and forth dialogue regarding the comment. Council may either choose to add it to a follow-up meeting or direct the city manager to follow up with the speaker. I haven't gotten any forms for public comment, but are there any out there that, no, any online? Nobody's written that? No, okay. Moving on, consent agenda. All matters listed in the consent agenda have been distributed to every member of council for reading and study, are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion of the council. If separate discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. We have the AP through 3/27/25, the minutes of 3/11/25 and 3/25/25, and budget committee appointments for a 4-year term till January, expiring in January 2029 of Louis Preventure and Melanie Cochran. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
One change on March 25th, 2025. Item number 5. Katie Nelson, we read a letter into the record on agenda, not on the minutes.
She provided.
She provided a
It was
letter,
read
it's
into-
not on the,
It was read into-
She read.
Yeah.
right,
It was
Yeah.
not on the
Yeah.
minutes.
She read.
it was not noted in the minute?
No.
Okay, Melissa, can we get that out into the minute, please? Okay, with that one, change, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion to accept the consent agenda.
Heather makes the motion, Eric seconds, all in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Congratulations, ladies. You are now on the budget committee. Just
Oh.
one.
He's on the-
Right. Okay. Moving on to the planning commission appointment. And do I have anyone that, anybody that needs to recuse
I will
themselves?
recuse myself.
Vern recuses himself from the vote. Linda Piper is going to, has put in to be on the planning commission. Do I have a motion to accept her on the planning commission?
Move we appoint Linda Piper to the planning commission.
I have a motion by Eric.
Second.
Heather seconds it. All those in favor? Excuse me,
Discussion.
discussion.
I believe it's a conflict of, I have nothing against Linda, but I believe it's a conflict of interest. I would hate to see that planning commission makes a decision and then it's appealed, and then Vern has to say, I'm sorry, I can't vote. That's not fair to Vern. He knows it's gonna be a conflict. I'm just putting it on the record.
No, he knows that, and that's already been gone through by the ethics committee and.
Yeah,
LLC
We
to
checked
make
with,
sure.
legal, yeah, with LOC legal
So with the,
and they actually said Vern didn't even have to recuse himself in the vote for her,
He's
so.
not gonna have any,
Yeah,
okay,
not a monetary gain or anything, so.
yeah.
okay, so I've got Eric made the motion, Heather seconded, all those in favor? Right, opposed? Okay, so you've got, Chris Labhart, yes, what's his name? Yes. Vern Piper abstained and recuses himself, Heather Swank voted yes, Ron Phillips voted yes, and Eric. Bush voted yes. All right. Next on the agenda is Rick Lamountain. Has a presentation for us.
Short presentation, yes, thank you,
Mhm.
Mayor. Well, next year, as most of you know, the United States will celebrate its 250th birthday, as marked by the signing of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. And the U.S. Semi-Quincentennial Commission, known thankfully by the simpler name of America 250, has been charged with organizing the various commemorative events around the nation. The commission has set the official start of the national celebration on April 18th of this year with an event that is dubbed Two Lights for Tomorrow. And to provide more detail about the event, let me quote from an article in this month's edition of the American Legion magazine. And I quote, "The celebration kicks off this month with Two Lights for Tomorrow. The commission is calling for two lights to be displayed in every state house in the nation on the evening of April 18th, and in municipal and county buildings, schools, offices, churches, individual homes, and more. The lights are meant to honor and bring to mind Paul Revere's famous ride of April 18th, 1775, to warn of the approach of British troops prior to the battles of Lexington and Concord." You'll remember that Paul Revere had arranged for the 1 if by land, 2 if by sea signal to be flashed from the tower of the Old North Church in Boston to alert patriots on the other side of the Charles River of the route the British were taking from Boston that evening. And to help kick off our national birthday celebration, I'm asking that the council arrange for the placement of two lights and the United States flag just inside the glass front door of City Hall from the evening of April 18th through the morning of the 19th, as suggested by the Sesquicentennial Commission. As well, the city might issue a proclamation regarding its participation in the event, which it might publish on the website, outlining the reason for its participation, giving a brief overview of Paul Revere's ride and its importance to the Revolution and the founding of our nation. I have taken the liberty of drafting such a proclamation, which you might have a look at it if you wish, and which the city may feel free to use or not use as it sees fit. Thank you very much for your consideration. I've got copies of the draft proclamation here. You care to pick one up after the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. Does anybody
So
have
just-
any,
Just formality, I talked to Rick before the meeting. A proclamation is a formal document that is put before a council during a meeting and you vote and then it's signed. We didn't have time to do that. It's time, something to think about when we come up with these things again, but you can certainly direct staff to do the two lights
And flag.
and flag. Didn't know about the flag.
Okay, even if it's not a proclamation, maybe some short explanation for the people of John Day as to why there are two lights in a flag inside the
We can do
Right,
it.
particularly, just something simple.
Okay, yeah, I
Right.
think we can do that. Derek,
I'll just make a motion that we display, two flags, an American flag in a respectful manner, in, the front window, in a front window at City Hall, on April 18th, the morning of the 19th. And, in addition to that, that we post on our website a summary of the purpose of the display and the reason for it.
I second.
Derek makes the motion, Brad seconds it. Any more discussion?
I was just thinking that if we could have something posted in the foyer there too. I mean, you're talking about putting it on the website and lights in the,
We could have a notice,
Mhm.
it,
just an
Put on the
explanation of
door.
that, so
Sure.
not everybody gets on the internet.
Sure.
okay,
Good idea. I'll amend
okay.
my motion.
Thank you.
You'll amend your
To
motion.
include a display or an explanation in the front hall.
Okay.
Since this is, would you consider it emergency? Because we're under a timeline, do the proclamation
Yeah.
tonight?
Well, it's on the agenda.
And if we're willing, no,
But you
No,
said,
Yeah,
we're doing
we can-
proclamation.
we're gonna do an explanation,
Okay.
it's gonna be there, it's just not gonna be called a proclamation.
Yeah, we're not doing a proclamation because it's not.
Okay, it's changing
You would all
wording.
have to look at it.
Okay, so we can get this moving. Okay, so Eric made the motion, Brad, do you still second?
Aye.
Brad still second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Rick.
Okay, next is the purchase and sale agreement, 24 acres of industrial land. Has everybody had a chance to look at that?
Yes,
Okay. Are there any questions or discussion?
seemed to be pretty thorough. I read through it.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if there are none, I'll entertain a motion to approve this.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the sale of 24 acres in industrial park up by there.
Sure.
I know, it needs to be in the motion.
This would be to,
Sure.
where, Chuck Scuba.
Chuck Scuba.
Second.
Ron makes the motion, Chris seconds it. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Unanimous. We're just moving right through this thing.
One question, is this on the partition?
Yeah, it's the larger piece is 40 acres. And we're selling 24 plus or minus to Chuck.
And they haven't done the partition.
That's why we do the sell agreement, because he has to pay for the partition, get the partition done, and then we will do the actual sell after that. This is the agreement to do it.
Okay. Next item is an appeal of SDC charges for 27499 La Costa Road. I take it, we have someone here that wants to state their case.
Yeah, Mayor, Joe Dinsberger, is that correct? Got it right. He is here, I will let you know that he did pay his SDCs, he is appealing them. So. He is here to answer any questions.
Okay, has everybody had a chance to look at this?
I did.
Do you have any questions? Concerns?
Is Joe-
He can, if you'd like him to.
Yeah, Joe?
My one thing was, talking, my father bought the property originally I think 07 from Matt Turner. And one of Mr. Turner's selling points to him was there was never any cash change between the city and him for this easement because the water rights were the selling point, the free water service. I mean, I'm not saying for nothing, we pay for our water. But when they made this agreement in 2002, there wasn't any fees. So then I feel I should be grandfathered in and not have to pay those fees. And then in 2008, when my father, there's two parcels there, put one into their home, they didn't pay the fees and the fees were in place at that point. They weren't, so, because Ron told me they were.
No, not till the next year.
So, and then, you know, I just feel that the city's used that piece of property for 23 years to run a water line. It's taken two parcels that I could legitimately sold as 1 acre lots. That I just feel that the city's got their money's worth of $2,200 that I paid for my fees. I just feel that if they agreed to it here and you change the law here, it should still retain here. I shouldn't have to change because the city decided they want to do something different. And I understand what you're saying, that you don't do it anymore, but you agreed to it. I have the document signed by the then mayor, can't remember his name. Roger Simonson and Peggy Carey that agreed to this back in the day. So I just feel that, you know, it's like any other law. If it happens here and change it here, it doesn't affect here. So that's just my statement.
Can I just ask a
Yes.
question? So what prompted you to have to pay the SDCs that
I built a house
you built?
and I'm hooking up the city water.
Okay. And the agreement was no SDCs.
Well, there was no SDC, that's my point, there was no SDCs in at the time, so talking to Mr. Turner, he said if there was, they probably would have been included in this at the time, but there wasn't. So it's like I'm getting penalized for something that happened after the fact. And in the city ordinance, there is a place where it says, if you provide an easement that benefits the whole community, you're entitled to credits up to, but not to exceed the SDC. So those were my argument sources.
Right.
And like I said, I shoot, most of the time.
So the SDCs, the water's already to the lots, both of them lots,
Yes,
and you're just hooking up to the lots.
yeah.
I mean, the water services, so there's, where are the SDCs? I mean, where are they coming from? Is it just to hook up to the service?
Yeah,
So, SDCs are system development charges that are required upon development. And it is paying for the pressure they put on the system. So the hookup and the meters and the stubbing out was all paid for by the city. The SDCs, because they weren't contemplated in the agreement, because we didn't have them yet, were added when he went to build the house many years later.
Right, but what I'm asking is, what is the meter already in
We put the meter in, we paid for that.
2008?
No, we just did it when we did the development, because that is part of the agreement, is that we would pay for the meter and the hookups.
it says in the agreement, it says a free water hookup with meter.
Yeah.
So that it's kind of not really specific, but like I said, they didn't have the SDCs at that point.
The agreement didn't, if I understand correctly, the agreement did not address SDCs because SDCs did not exist. at the time. And your argument is that if SDCs had existed, the agreement would have addressed them.
I believe so, talking to Mr. Turner, I believe so.
I think it comes down to the easement.
Yeah.
That's what,
Where
Yeah,
does the
that's-
easement lie?
What's that?
Does the easement lie on the east side of La Costa?
The easement lies on the north side of the Casa, so you know where the water tower is?
Okay,
So just, it comes right across from the water tower. It's like 40 feet wide and probably about, I would say 300 yards long right across the top of my property.
I see it.
And
Is this the new, Reservoir,
Costa, yeah, subdivision, always been there, what, long,
the lot, the
the
reservoir.
reservoir, gosh, what, 15, 20 years?
Been there a while.
So do you have any, estimate for us of value of that easement, like, was there a fair market value or something? No. So I get, yeah, so pro and con, just discussion purposes, I'm tracking, I think what Chris is saying. The difference on this specific case is that there was an easement involved given to the city. And that easement has value, which is different than if this was just a piece of property that somebody owned pre-SDCs that now suddenly they wanted to develop and are saying, well, there was no SDCs back then, so why should I pay them now? Because I think that would be, that in and of itself, that scenario would be sitting in a terrible precedent, would not be fair to the rest of the citizens in the community. But the fact that there was a special agreement that Granite got from back then. And it was a free water, if you will, when there was no other indication. I mean, I think that makes it different.
When you say free water,
So I mean, that's just what
yeah,
term.
free water based on the city gets an easement to cross his property.
Right,
That's-
yeah, that's the agreement. Yeah, I
Because we-
agree.
Well, he's saying
It's not free water.
It's not free water. It's free service.
Free hookers, yeah, which is. I understand.
With that in mind, I make a motion the council approve the appeal. Mr. Dinsberger,
I second.
Okay, Chris makes a motion and Brad seconds it. Is there any further discussion?
I think it's only the right thing to do. I mean,
I agree.
Agreed. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimously. You're welcome. Okay, city manager comment.
Just a note, April 22nd, before your regular meeting, you will have a financial workshop. Rob will be, presenting, we're working together on that, how that's going to go, the pieces to that. But basically, we want to give an overview of, before you get into budget. Now, this is not a budget workshop. This is not anything to do with budget. I plan to invite the budget committee just so they have a background. So you're gonna have to separate that a little bit in your mind. This is finances and where revenue comes from, which pots it goes into, which funds. Why we can't just move this lump sum over to this and spend this money over here. And if we did, why, how that would work. So just so you can get an idea of the funds we have, where the money comes in, how we operate, our money as a city and what money we have. So, that'll be before your next meeting. And then we take off for budget. Budget comes, we're gonna try to do another budget workshop where we talk about the budget. And so the state rules regarding budget, what you can and can't do, what a budget committee should be doing, what the council can do. How we go through a budget.
Do you have any idea how long before the regular meeting we'll need for that on the 22nd?
I'm assuming we only need an hour, maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's any more than an hour.
Okay,
If there's more information we need to get out there, we'll just figure out what time to do that, so you all are feeling pretty confident.
okay,
So you're
so
gonna start this at
5:30 on the
5:30?
22nd.
Yeah. The mayor and I, went to the town hall on Sunday to meet with, Senator Merkley. He usually does a little meet and greet with, people. Commissioner Rao was there. Mayor from, Dayville was there, mayor and, administrative, recorder, city manager from, Monument, thank you, were there. Surprisingly, we're all asking for sewer money, which, it's pretty interesting. And you think about when we have our ask in, we're asking quite large amounts of both the state and the feds. And then you hear about all these little towns that are also asking, and then you know there's bigger towns asking. It seems like every city in Oregon needs sewer upgrades. But, it opened up a dialogue between these cities that hasn't happened as much before, and so we're really communicating. If you don't know, we help out Dayville with, their labs, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, and so we also help out Seneca, so we help other small towns around us, so if they're having issues, we try to help, and we also wanna know about those, because if they're having a sewer issue and they're gonna ask for 500,000 or $1 million, that's good to know, because we also are asking. So, that dialogue was good, I was glad to get to talk to him, and we're gonna try to do some meetings between the mayors and, staff, so that's good. We also have the Ways and Means, quote, roadshow coming up is what it's called, where the Ways and Means Committee goes on the road to different areas, and we have an opportunity to testify, again, asking for those dollars for our plant. I know that the first one that is Friday is the next one, there was several already. Friday's the next one, it's in La Grande. These are in person, you have to be there in person, and so our, grant administrator, all around project guy, Nick Ducati lives in La Grande, and so he signed up and he's going to be there in person to testify on our behalf for us. And so, that is good, and then Salem is the next one after that, and, the mayor has signed up to testify in Salem. That one you can do virtual. And so she has signed up, I know, and has, her spiel ready to go. I don't know if, you are or not, you mentioned it.
Working on it.
Other counselors, if you want a script or you want to sign up to testify in Salem, let me know. You do have to register in advance, so you need to get in.
I thought I asked to,
I sent you the script,
oh,
so you need to,
are you gonna take these boards on that day?
no, it's not that kind of a thing.
Okay.
No. So, and Salem's virtual, so we would be there virtual instead of in person.
Mhm.
So there's that. We are still working on the citizens' behalf, trying to get that money. With tonight's budget appointments, looks like we're almost full on the committee, and so, tomorrow when I get to the office, I will send out the budget calendar, get the budget committee all roped in, let them know about the finance meeting if they want to come, and, get us all started down that road, so we have our full committees. So we'll do that. And lastly, the best one, don't forget the Easter egg hunt is on April 19th at Grant Union High School. And if you have not donated candy, we will gladly accept it. You can bring it to City Hall and, we'll get it to, Dawn and the right people so the kiddos can have a lot of fun. It takes a lot of money to put this on. It's a lot of candy. I think Dawn ordered 3,000 eggs the other day. And so, this is a community effort. They have hamburgers and hot dogs. And so, participate, donate, get involved. That's all I know.
Before I turn to the counselors and, myself, John, did you have a question?
No, I was just gonna suggest, I'm gonna be at that meeting on Friday too, and if I can help in the process of
In La Grande?
getting the grant, yeah, I'll have to go there too, because there's a lot of work gonna be going on. So if I can help the city or anybody else in testifying, give me some information, we'll do it at the same time, because we've gotta have some of this come from somewhere. It's why I asked him in the meeting, you know, the senator, I asked him, I said, well, where are we gonna come from? What, I said, we're gonna go back to press. We need to get our people to work. That's how we're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, wanted to support John Day and anybody, anything else that needs to be supported. Our side of the mountain. It don't look like we're gonna get a lot this year.
No, we have some big ass in and we've already been told they probably won't get funded, so, we still have hope.
But we still need to go over and try.
We
Yeah.
do, Absolutely,
No,
absolutely.
thank you, John. You and Melissa can get together on a
So is Nick gonna
testimony.
read the script that you sent me?
Huh?
Is Nick gonna read the script?
No, he has a different one.
Okay.
We did several different ones,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool,
No,
Yeah.
well, there's only three, so eventually
Then you
they'll hear the
can
same
put me-
thing, but,
you can check me out, I'll do.
okay,
What you
make sure
sent
you
me.
go on and register. Or they won't call your name. It's, yeah, you have to go on the website and register.
Okay.
It's on the Ways and Means.
Mhm. Melissa can help you with that later if you need some help getting through that, or I can.
Yeah, she wants.
Yeah. Counselors. Do we have anything from any of the counselors that they'd like to discuss?
I emailed all of you my concerns. Melissa didn't bring it up again. The audit's been done 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks
We
ago.
were told at the last meeting
That was-
that it would be on the 22nd
Okay,
that
I
we
just-
will be receiving that,
Well, it was also in that,
I don't.
her update, so.
And I sent you an email, to explain why. I mean, that was the first, the 22nd was the first day our auditor could be here. So it's not like I can
Yeah, you
command
didn't
him to
tell
be
me.
here.
You didn't tell me that,
I sent you an email. I responded back to you right away.
that he wasn't going to be here.
That was
Yeah.
the only day he could be here.
I didn't get that in my email. So,
I see,
I got it.
yeah. I sent it to you.
And
No,
also the
I-
video,
The
Mayor's-
video, we are gonna show that after the meeting.
Hold up.
Anybody who wants to stay and watch the video that the school, put together for, recruitment is welcome to stay. Otherwise, after I adjourn, you can leave. Anybody else?
I was just gonna, Melissa kind of stole my thunder a little bit regarding the, again, wastewater treatment plant, toilets got flush, it's been my mantra for a while, right? One of the things we did is we asked for, it's been known by many names, earmarks, congressionally directed spending, currently known as community initiated projects. They keep putting a different bow on it to make it kind of less bureaucratic, I think. But, asking for money from, through our senator congressional delegation and for grants. And, we asked for $1 million, I believe, for a wastewater treatment plant.
We asked for
This
a
year.
million that we asked for the last year that got wiped out, so we asked for it again,
Yeah.
because they said they might look at it again, and then we asked for 4.5.
Right next year. So,
10
the
million.
bottom line up front is all the asks this year, are gone. And the reason they're gone is they didn't approve a budget, they approved a continuing resolution. And when you do that, these things that would have gone into the budget they just vaporize. And so, from our perspective as City of John Day, we're not gonna get that $1 million this year. Maybe we'll get it money next year. Who knows what will happen down the road? But there's a lot of, take my day job, because I manage a lot of these grants. A lot of grants are being, reviewed for compliance of the president's executive orders. And so they're not being pulled back, they're not being stopped, but they are being reviewed, which is delaying significantly. In the case of the congressionally directed spending, this is something that hadn't happened yet. And so that was just a feature of Congress passing a resolution rather than actually passing a budget. So, that's, it's not good news for us. I mean, but the good news is we still have some time to take advantage of it. And I think we're in a really good position to do it if the opportunity comes. And if not, we got to work on other things like Melissa's been working on Representative Owens really hard. Trying to pin him down on what his priorities really are. And is the John Day wastewater treatment plant really one of his priorities, or is it something else more recreational? So if you are so inclined and you want to reach out to Representative Owens and ask him what kind of priority our wastewater treatment plant is against all the other priorities, hopefully he'll tell you it's something other than it's been prioritized. And I'm not trying to beat up Representative Owens, but we need, the community needs clear answers and not just, a nothing answer. So, just my 2 cents on that. Take it for what you will. I'm just one voice. Altogether, we're a lot of voices. I think that's it. I mean, there's a lot of cool things going on in Grant County. I really like what this was saying about the communities working together. On my day job, I'm doing some projects up at Monument, Dayville, Long Creek, Seneca. And I just feel like the outlying communities, the county and the center of Mass here in the John Day Valley. I mean, we're all seeming like really kind of coming together, and it just feels good. It feels good right now. A lot of the, we always have friction. It's like a family, right? And right now, everybody's getting.
Hey, Brad.
I was wondering if we could put on I was gonna send an email to you about an update on the wells and possibly get Casey to give us an update on where we stand, and because we're coming up on budget and that was budgeted last year.
I will get that. You didn't send your email, so obviously it went out of my mind. Still try to send me that email so I can get exactly what you're looking for. Don might be able to, I don't know if Don knows or not.
I don't know where we're.
Yeah. I know he had contracted and sometimes getting those contractors to get here is sometimes they're on their timeline again.
Just
So,
wondering
yeah,
where we are.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Don, how are we coming along with the back truck?
It's supposed to tomorrow.
It's on the. In the email, I think.
I didn't, yeah.
It was,
Good.
they said.
Okay, and then the other thing.
Well, it says in her notes, I can read them. It
That's
says.
not my note.
Oh, it's not.
Says, yeah,
Okay, so it says on the 5th of March,
Yeah.
remove hydraulic motor, capped off hydraulic lines. The 6th, they put the hydraulic motor onto a back truck blower.
right.
I don't think that's them.
Anyway, it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that they've taken it to,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
it's
we
taken-
don't.
It's supposed to be back tomorrow. Here we go.
Good.
That was just the part I wanted to know.
Yeah, back tomorrow.
The other thing, I assume you're the one who put the for sale signs in the window.
No,
Don did that. Don,
Thank you.
Don, at my request, at the mayor's request, at my request.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, my idea is somebody might be driving through town and be interested in the building,
That's true.
Yeah.
It's
you know,
true.
because it's not gonna be a Cyberman.
Right.
It's for sale.
Okay.
and then one other question was, you go ahead. Why are we locating at Reservoir 3? Says start the locates at Reservoir 3. Are we doing something?
So, Counselor, these updates I give you, if you can send me your emails with questions, I can have those ready for you to answer. At a
Yeah.
meeting, I don't know that you're coming with me, so I don't know what that. I'd have to.
Right.
Yeah.
And see what he's saying. Those are for you all.
Yeah,
So just let me know.
It has no reference, though.
well,
Right, so if you.
Okay.
Give me an email, I'll get you that answer.
if you need clarification, just ask. Ginsburg.
Yes, skidders are running across our water lines up there, so they located where the water lines were, so it breaks them.
Cause they're cutting juniper.
Yeah, the skidder up there.
There you go.
Back.
We walk on the walking path along the river,
Mhm.
and it's been brought to our attention, it's getting scary for single women and older women. They're starting to pack pepper spray, they're being followed by some of the homeless guys. There was a young lady just last week, it scared the dickens out of her, cause one homeless guy, he's the tall one with the beard, and he was staying in the shelter on top of the sand pile.
And I took the sleeping bag off.
Yeah, Don got that.
Wasn't there this morning.
Yeah,
He was following this young lady. She had a dog that watched out for her, but
it's getting a little scary for people out there walking that path with these homeless people that follow them.
How many,
We've heard from 2 or 3 people.
My wife is also says
She said so too.
about the guy on the
Okay,
ground.
I'm gonna say what I've been told to say. If there are issues with this, you need to get a hold of the sheriff's office. You need to call them directly. Okay, I can't keep going to them and saying, you know, this person says this person says that. They need calls from the people that are actually,
At the time.
They did,
okay,
they did call, but
okay,
I'm just bringing it to your attention.
yeah, okay.
It is
Well,
become
I'm-
problematic.
well, I'm glad they're carrying.
well, buddy system and, you know, not everybody who looks threatening is.
Yeah.
So just try to remember that.
True.
You know, we do have homeless here. One local that he is harmless. And, you know, causes no issues.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
He has the right to walk.
if, yes, but the thing I would say is, if we have homeless here, they should not be sleeping on the sand pile.
Well, no, we
They
took
should
care
be
of that.
at
Yeah,
the.
yeah, we took care of that.
Designated.
No, that we
Yeah.
took care of.
That's.
But we
Yeah.
just can't stop them from walking along the trail. So,
Yeah.
They have a right to walk.
But my wife has said they're sleeping there.
We took care of the sand. We took care
As
of
soon as I was
On the
informed by.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we took care of
We
that.
weren't there this morning.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, Don's done it.
But you mentioned about people not being, one person harmless,
I beg your pardon?
one person being harmless. I would totally agree with one person here in the community.
Yeah,
Not harm,
No.
but to an outside person,
right,
you see him walking out of the restroom down there, all of a sudden, whoa.
yeah.
A little scared.
Yeah.
Perception's real.
John, did you have something you
I was
needed?
just gonna say that if you have a problem, if we can get the word out to people, they're walking the trail, and feel like, call dispatch. And if somebody will come and take care of it, that time is a very big deal about time.
Right,
And I understand. But I've been seeing, I watch it, we live right there. I watch a lot of things going on there. And so far I haven't seen anything that looked too bad, but if I do, I'll go down there too. So, but if people feel that way, tell them to call
Yeah,
dispatch.
call dispatch.
And get some help, because
right.
I understand they can get scared.
No, I absolutely agree with that. Okay. All right, just have a couple of things to say. Melissa and I met again with Prairie City and the undersheriff yesterday to talk about code enforcement. And we are making a little bit of headway with that, so that's still, in the works. Also at the town hall, as Melissa said, we are going to be talking we have the small cities conference next week we're hosting. And, we will be talking to the other cities and trying to get together so that we can do meets, you know, once a quarter, once a month, you know, every couple of months, you know, to share what's going on with the different cities, which I feel is really important. We're really getting a good cohesiveness now, and I want to keep that going because we haven't had that in the past.
Is there gonna be a Zoom on them?
It's gonna be for the mayors and ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, if there's no further business, I will adjourn the meeting. Stay and watch the video. Welcome to